Okay, well thank you very much, Liz. I hope everyone can hear me, and thank you very much for everyone who's come along and exhibited here in Chesterfield. I was really keen to hold this jobs fair because I think the world of work and jobs are one of the remaining key challenges that face us at the moment. And in thanking you all for coming here, I just wanted to reflect a little bit on a word that we all here used a great deal, but I think is particularly relevant today, and that's about responsibility and the responsibilities that we all hold towards each other. As a Member of Parliament and someone who's wanting to be in government shortly, our responsibility to you as employers, to Liz and the workers at Department of Work and Pensions, as public servants, and of course to all of the people who are going to be coming here to find out about jobs today. Our responsibility is to ensure that we have an economy that works for working people, an economy that works for businesses and employers too, because without having both of those dimensions, the country can't be successful. And part of that responsibility is us ensuring that people come out of our schools, our colleges, our universities, our education system prepared and ready for the world of work, ready to come and represent the businesses and employers that are here today, and have the best skill base that they possibly can, and the best attitude base that they possibly can to be able to come and be employers. From the perspective of the Department of Work and Pensions, they have a responsibility. They are public servants. They're here to represent you as employers, but they're also here to represent the people who use their services, people who are unemployed, people who are trying to get into the world of work. And their responsibility is to be a critical friend to those people, making sure that they're pushing them to do everything they can to find work, but also making sure that their relationship with people who are seeking work is one of critical support rather than an adversarial one, and one that ensures that it's a public service that really delivers for the people who use it. And your responsibility as employers is obviously to make sure that you deliver for your shareholders, deliver for the people who employ you, but also that you are fair with the employees that you have. And we have this mutual responsibility towards each other, and also a mutual reliance upon each other. Because our country can't succeed without the businesses that are here employing people. You can't succeed unless you get the right calibre of staff who are all working hard in the interests of your sector. And the DWP will be letting us all down if it doesn't deliver for those people who come to it, and also deliver for you as the businesses that are absolutely fundamental to the future success of our economy. Now, this is a jobs fair that's open to everyone in Chesterfield, but it has a particular focus on supporting people who are leaving our armed forces. And I think we're all very conscious of the debt of gratitude that we as a nation have towards people who've come from our armed forces. And there's some really positive work going on to link employers with former servicemen and women, and also to ensure that our former servicemen and women are properly supported to get into the workplace, and that our employers are properly supported to ensure that they make the best use of that tremendous resource that we have. So I'm very pleased to introduce Major Ron Lewis, who's going to talk a bit about the work that's going on, the work that he's doing to support those people from the armed forces into the world of work. Major Ron.
I too would like to mirror the words said by Toby there, because actually my job as a transition officer is to try to signpost the service leavers when they leave our fantastic institution for all the work that they've then done to make their way into civil life, whether it's through employment, through the support of the NHS, through any of the things they need, whether it's housing. It's all of those needs. When we're in the army, in the services, we know who the go-to person is for whatever we need. But when they take the step outside and out of the uniform, sometimes they're like a fish out of water. It doesn't mean they lack the confidence they once had, but actually, just by showing them that warm, appreciative hand, face, etc., helps them to make their step and their way in the new life that they've either chosen or been forced to go into. And part and parcel of these employment fairs, it's fantastic what the Job Centre have done with relation to getting you all together to provide the facility that you're doing today, you're going to get the best pick of whoever comes in off the street. It's up to you to sell your companies, but in the same way, if a soldier walks in here, he's not going to be like me in uniform. Whether you want to extract that information from him, it's up to you and how much you engage with the people that walk into your stands. But it's in all of our interests to get the best out of the people that come to our stands. So thank you all very much, and I hope if you do get a serviceman, you will support him. Thank you. I would just like to hand over now to Liz from the Job Centre.
Thank you yet again for attending. Laurie and I, Armed Forces Champions, it means such a lot. I know a lot, all the employees we've spoken to are supporting the Armed Forces. It's not just an Armed Forces event, it is for everybody out there. And as DWP, we're supporting the users today as well. Thank you for coming along, thank you for all the vacancies that you've got on offer and for supporting this job fair. Back to Toby, because I've finished.
Okay, one of the things that has been, one of the points that have been made very powerfully to me by both Liz and Major is that often we all have, when we talk about the armed forces, a strong sense of our servicemen in terms of the role that they have done in the army. And we all come out and we're seeing bigger numbers than ever before to remembrance days and other things to support them when they're in uniform. But when they come out of uniform, do we have the same sense of responsibility towards them? And often they will have particular barriers to the world of work. But if only we can support them through, we can move forward as a country a great deal more. Now that may be around physical disabilities, or it may be around psychological and mental disabilities. And often those physical and mental psychological disabilities that they face are also faced by other job seekers in the world of work. And so we're glad that we have been joined in this jobs fair by the Disability Confident section or project within the Department of Work and Pensions, and they want to just have a few words with employers about the work that they are doing to support employers to employ people with disabilities, whether they be physical, mental, psychological or whatever. Because actually as a country, if we can make more of the talents of all of our people, not only will we build a fairer society, but we'll actually build a more prosperous future too. So I'm pleased to introduce Steve Lismore from the Department of Work and Pensions to talk a little bit about the Disability Confident Project. Steve.
Thanks very much, Toby. And again, a big thank you to everyone for inviting me, and a big thank you to you employers for being here. Some of you may have heard of Disability Confident. Many of you might not have heard of Disability Confident. It's a campaign that's been running for about a year or so now. And Toby talked about responsibility, and my personal responsibility and the responsibility of the department is to try and increase the number of disabled people who are in work. Although the gap has been closing, there's still a huge gap in the employment rate between non-disabled people, which is around 75 and 80%, and disabled people, which is less than 50%. And that's the gap that we want to close. And that's partly what this campaign is about. It's about supporting disabled people with the sort of support they need and want. And there are various programs that can do that. Access to Work program is available to help individuals and employers where they need extra help. But it's also particularly about encouraging you as employers to consider disabled people as being a very strong and positive part of your workforce. Now, some of that pitch to you as employers is about your responsibility as members of the community, and you may be living next to somebody who has a disability. As Toby said, quite often those disabilities are not immediately obvious. You may indeed have a disability of your own, or you may have a family member who has a disability. Quite often it will be something that comes and goes, mental health issues. There's a sixth of the working population who suffers from a mental health issue at some time in their working life. There's 20% of the working population who has a disability of some sort. So we're not talking about a tiny group, we're talking about a very significant group. So part of it is about social responsibility, but also increasingly part of it is about making your business successful, whatever your business might be. I've been wandering around and speaking to a few employers, and some employers are telling me about difficulties in filling their vacancies, difficulties in retaining staff because they're having high turnover rates, and difficulties particularly in getting the sort of skills and the sort of commitment that they need to make their businesses successful. And that's where disabled people can be a real asset, because contrary to popular misconception, disabled people generally have lower levels of sickness than non-disabled people. They're generally extremely loyal. The turnover rate is generally much lower for disabled people than it is for non-disabled people. And they are quite often highly skilled. They are people who may have had a long work history, have had a health issue of some sort, and they are no longer able to continue with the employment they were following before, but they are highly skilled, highly experienced, and ready to make your business a success. So that's what Disability Confident is about. And employers who haven't employed a disabled person before, the issue is sometimes it sounds a bit scary. You're thinking you're going to have to make huge adaptations to the way you work, or to your premises, or you're going to have great trouble with somebody coming in and then being off sick all the time. And the campaign is saying that really isn't the case. Usually, if you have to make any adjustments at all, the reasonable adjustments that you make as an employer are generally quite minor and easy to do. As simple as changing the working hours, or as finding a car parking space near the office, or moving the office around so somebody doesn't have to use stairs, or just generally being a little bit more supportive if somebody is having a tough time in that particular week. If the adjustments you need are greater, then there is support available through the Access to Work program. Generally, although we're trying to make it better known, it's still not as well known as it should be, but it is a program there that can help people meet the extra costs of going to work if they have a disability, and it is there to work with employers to meet some of those extra special costs. So I just strongly encourage you to consider that as an issue. There are some packs I'm going to leave in front of the poster here, so do have a look. And if you'd like to be part of the Disability Confident campaign, we greatly welcome you being part of it. We've left something there. You could just jot some contact details and I'll be in touch with you, or speak to Liz or Laurie, or I will myself be wandering around for a little while after this. So just thank you again for listening.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. You'll be glad to know the talking's now over, and the thing we're all here for, which is the opportunity to meet with potential new recruits, is fast approaching. Liz, do you want to just talk through what's actually going to happen now, and then we'll get cracking?
Right, the doors I think are about to open. We've got a queue outside, so I think it's all domestics. I actually don't know any domestics.
There's no fire alarm test today, so we've been told we'll know when the fire alarms go in, and there's plenty of exits to go to, so just follow one of us.
We're in orange, pink, nice. Tea and coffee all day. Please help yourself.
Toilets are just there, and I think that's it.
That's it.
Yes. Thank you again.
Yeah. Have a good day, everybody. It's going to be a success. We've worked really hard. Thank you to everybody yet again. Thank you for your attendance.
And we'll let you go now.
We have got a queue. Back to the station.